Get groceries delivered to your door in as fast as an hour with Instacart. They handpick fresh groceries from your local store and let you shop multiple stores in a single order. Use our link to get free delivery on your first order over $35. Just visit cart.simpsonsiblings.com or check out the link in the description.
Hey everybody, we are the Simpsons siblings. I'm Sari.
And I'm Sean.
And we've been watching The Simpsons forever.
And we've been talking about it forever.
And today we are talking about Homer versus the 18th Amendment. Happy St. Patrick's Day. This is Season 8, Episode 18, aired March 16th, 1997. Directed by Bob Anderson, written by John Swartzwelder.
And at the start of our episode, we don't have a chalkboard scene, which is always a bit disappointing.
Lo siento.
I mean, I guess we get more time for the actual episode. But,
Yeah, true.
But we do have the couch gag where they all come in their cowboy outfits and they ride the couch off into the sunset.
It's beautiful.
It's a good one.
Yeah. Today we've got guest stars Dave Thomas as Rex Banner and Joe Mantegna as Fat Tony.
Fat Tony.
Irreplaceable. All right, and we start right off showing what holiday this is for, with Bart saying, "Gee, Lise, you sure look stupid in that green dress."
Which kind of brings back some memories. Somehow in elementary school, I never knew it was going to be St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, no.
And I was always that one kid that never wore green. And thankfully people didn't. I maybe got like from friends like a few small pinches.
Yeah, it's usually...
It's more of a, everyone else remembered except for me.
It's not quite the bombardment that Bart gets from Springfield Elementary.
Yeah.
And I love, this is such like a cute line from Lisa, her little bit of rebelliousness. She goes, "No one's pinching his legs." And then someone starts pinching his legs.
They jump right on that.
Oh, man, it's sweet. All right. Then we've got the St. Patrick's Day parade. And Marge talks about all the emotions she's experiencing, such as joy, excitement, and looking.
You know, just the feeling of looking. It's just...
Oh, yeah.
That's what I think of when I think of St. Patrick's Day.
That's my favorite emotion, is looking. Oh, man. And then Bart wants to buy one of those obnoxious big horns.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole line with Marge, where she's like, "You get those every year, and you just end up throwing them away."
You throw it out the car window on the way home.
Oh, yeah.
I get tired of it.
But it's not going to happen this time. All right. And then everyone, of course, ends up getting drunk and starts fighting.
Well, we have, too, like everyone at Moe's getting ready. Mm-hmm. Did you notice the green dye that he's carrying with him?
Oh, I didn't.
And it has a poison symbol on it.
Oh, no. Oh, my gosh.
And then the good old, "Okay, where are all the designated drivers?" And a couple of people raise their hand. "Get out of here. We got no room for cheapskates."
Oh, my God. He's got some of the best line deliveries.
He's just so, like, grumpy old man.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I've been watching Brockmire, and it has Hank Azaria, and it's so weird because he makes such a different voice that isn't close to any of his other voices, and it's just, just great line delivery.
But yeah, I think, I don't know, there's so many good lines in this episode as well. I mean, the last recording we were talking about iconic lines. Mm-hmm. Every time makes me laugh when those people start climbing the television tower. Mm-hmm. And like the one guy's, "This is some wicked patty."
It's some wicked patty.
the other guy's just wasted. Said, "Hey, have you seen Sully?" What the heck? He's just like looking in the camera, and Kent Brockman's just like, annoyed.
Yep. Are these the things we think about when we think of the Irish?
Violence, drinking, destruction of property.
Yeah. Oh, it's something I never noticed. They blow up the building with the British flag on it.
Yes.
Oh, man.
And then everyone just, it's an instant riot. There's an explosion and everyone cheers.
That's it.
No one's scared.
Yeah.
Everyone's drunk and having fun. And
Yep. And of course, we have that float with the beer being shot out, and all the beer gets shot right into Bart's horn, and he just immediately swallows it. And we get to see drunk Bart.
Yeah. Which I know it's weird you don't really have too many cartoons where the kid gets drunk.
Yeah. Oh man, which we did have the scene in. I think the closest thing I can think of is the scene where they go to Duff Gardens and they're on that ride, and Lisa drinks some of the water, and that scene scared the crap out of me as a kid.
It's not necessarily getting. I don't know what was.
I don't know. I thought she got some sort of poisoning.
She's
from
like hallucinating.
Yeah. So of course Bart becomes a huge spectacle, and people start asking for Prohibition.
Well, someone has to please think of the children.
Please think of the children. Oh man, which honestly, as a kid watching this, so this was 1997, I would have been 7. This was the first time I'd ever heard of Prohibition as something that had happened in the past.
Well, this is why The Simpsons is just a great educational resource.
Oh yeah, really, we should be showing this to all our children.
School curriculums, everything.
Yeah, you got it. You learn so many things. We got that old historical guy is how I wrote it. He's showed up a couple times through the series.
Yeah, he did some stuff with like Jebediah Springfield too.
Yeah.
He's just always in the downtown not courthouse, but just the mayor's office.
Looking at old papers. And of course, there's been a law that hasn't been enforced in hundreds of years.
You're talking about the law requiring ducks to wear long pants, aren't you?
Oh, yes, of course. Which, of course, and then you can go into those weird laws that every state has that are just never enforced.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and something that I really thought about this time when I watched this was they're acting like Springfield is the only town in the whole country. Because why are they bringing the beer to the dump when they could just take the beer to the next town over?
Which is funny. I thought about that this time, and I've never thought about that before.
I don't know why I never thought of it. And I always thought Duff was a national brand. Why are they going out of business just from Springfield having Prohibition?
Launching Duff Zero, and they're closing their doors 30 minutes later.
I love how fast that happened. Something that always appealed to me with this episode is how there's just this huge tonal and thematic shift on a dime almost. Like once they put the Prohibition in, it's the 1920s.
Yeah.
I just love it so much. And we've got the voiceover and the music. Oh man.
Well, and so many people are on board with it too.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine if like any city,
Mm-hmm.
if they said, "Oh, by the way, after tonight, alcohol's gone."
Oh yeah.
Oh, that would not work.
That would not go well at all. Oh my gosh. Of course, we've got people smuggling beer all the way from Shelbyville, which is the next town over.
Yeah, just past the lemon tree.
Yeah, you just go back and forth with the little kids are going back and forth with their kites. Ah, man, I love how the cops just sort of think that the mafia is just giving them money out of the goodness of their hearts.
Yeah.
They're like, oh boy, I don't know why people don't like the mafia.
The Springfield Police Department is the most competent force out there to begin with.
Yeah. And suddenly telegrams are a thing.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Uh-huh. And we've got the whole, him nodding, Rex Banner nodding at the telegrams, and Daisy had puppies, or whatever the...
Yeah, Rexy. Daisy had puppies, Mom.
And he just nods. So we got Rex Banner kicking Wiggum out of the police force. And we get Wiggum wandering around out of a job saying, hey, can I arrest you for anything?
Well, and as Wiggum's kicked out, Banner's like, what do you want, a kiss on the cheek? And he's like, well, no.
He thinks about it for a second. All right, and we've got another phrase that I use in everyday life. I actually say this a lot to Frankie. If I don't come back, Avenger Jets. And Marge just kind of goes with it. Okay. And we have Homer's great plan.
Yes, which is a pretty good plan.
Oh, yeah. Like later on I'll talk about Marge's reaction to it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it really is a pretty good plan. He goes to the dump and digs up all the beer. And I don't know why the mafia didn't get to that first.
And also, it seems like, Homer's selling it for money. Seems like he might want to keep a lot of it for himself.
Yeah.
But, that this is how the story is.
Yeah. Well, and why didn't they just dump the beer? Why would they bury it in a sealed container?
Yeah. Well, you know why?
Hmm.
Because if they did, it'd be a shorter episode.
It would be. That is true.
I'm very good at analyzing these things.
Yes. And talk about like thematic changes, this chase through the graveyard. Because Homer's got all the beer that he's lugging, little lugger.
Little lugger.
And the police start chasing them. And they go through this graveyard. It has such weird angles and music during this short scene through the graveyard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man.
And he smashes so many of them. The car's already dented, but it's just, it keeps its form.
Well, I heard that smashing gravestones was good luck.
Yeah. Just dismissing desecrating graves.
Yeah. Of course that's good luck. Oh, man. And then another line that I just use so much. I'm not going to lie to you, Marge. And then he just leaves.
So long.
Oh, my God. Well, he isn't going to lie to her.
Yeah.
He's also not just going to give her any answer at all. And then we have Homer filling the bowling balls with alcohol, which then gets to Moe's.
Yeah.
Which this is a sort of ingenious plan that he has where it goes through the gutter and it goes through this intricate maze of pipes. And I was thinking, too, the bowling alley would have to be at a higher elevation than Moe's for that to even work.
Yeah.
Unless there's some sort of pulley system. Like, this took a lot of thought.
Yeah. Well, the whole line of Bart going, "Geez, Homer, you sure do suck tonight." Suck like a fox.
Oh, man. And I also love how the price, once it does get to Moe, reflects the amount of effort.
Yeah.
And the scarcity, that it's like $45.
Well, but then they're willing to pay it.
Yeah. This better be the best beer I ever tasted. You got lucky.
Which means he's doing a good job of keeping the bowling balls clean.
Yeah.
Keeping sterile conditions and everything. You know, he's doing a good job.
So many different facets to this business that he's getting right somehow.
Well, and also the bowling ball returns to him.
Yeah.
So from Moe's back up to the bowling alley.
Yeah. So then that whole elevation thing is out of whack.
He might have also had help from other people. Like,
Yeah.
the bowling alley had to be in on it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But he's the mastermind.
Oh, yes. All right, and then we've got this shot of Rex Banner in the diner with Eddie and Lou. The outside shot, it's actually referencing a famous painting called Nighthawks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
That old painting with the diner. And I love on Rex's newspaper, it said in sort of finer print, "Family sedan outruns cops." Oh, man.
And this scene, like, they animated Barney just perfectly.
Oh, yeah.
When he puts his face on the, like, you see his face smushed on the glass, his lips are being pulled apart, and he's going, "Hello, fishies." Just totally drunk.
Oh, yeah, that's Barney. Marge sort of catching Homer in this whole act. And Homer's, "Why won't you just let me explain?" When she's obviously giving him room to explain. And all of Homer's arguments are just so consistently bad in this episode.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh.
Well, and then, as you said before, we've got Marge being oddly okay with everything.
Yeah.
Like, complimenting how smart of a planet is.
Mm-hmm.
And even Lisa is shocked.
Yeah. I honestly would have been impressed too if I was Marge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's making money for the family.
Yeah. I think that it sort of almost shows sort of the fun side of Marge. Because I think if this would have been more of a morally bad thing that he was doing, because this is, I think she sort of just sees this as Homer going back to the status quo of what the town originally let happen. Because originally the alcohol was seen as legal, and so Marge still sees it as okay. But if Homer was doing something that was physically hurting someone, obviously she wouldn't be.
She was like running illegal drugs or something.
Yeah, but Marge lets it pass because it's something that used to be okay. Hey, that's kind of a bit of nuance for Marge as a character.
And then we get everyone yelling at Lisa to go to her room.
Yeah. Oh, poor Lisa.
When Lisa's just technically right.
Yeah. Oh, and then we got Moe transforming his bar into a pet shop. when the
Yes.
cops come by and they've got the crazy party going on, and he cranks that lever. And again, that's got to take a lot of work to put all that together.
Yeah.
I remember as a kid being worried about the animals because there's actually like a bunny rabbit in one of them. And I always remember, I hope they're feeding them all right. And I hope they're not scared under there.
Oh, you're just caring about the animals.
Yes. And of course, then Barney gets stuck.
Wow, those gears sure do hurt.
Then we have another complication when Homer runs out of the landfill beer.
Yep.
And Mo ends up complaining to him, and I love the way he says ambiance.
I know. I tried to figure out how to write that. I wrote ambiance, but like underline the A, ambiance.
Yeah, I put ambiance with the A and the N capitalized. we were both thinking the same thing.
Yeah, you got to get that little weird accent on it.
The ambiance. So then we, of course, progress to the next thing, which is Homer making his own alcohol. And I love how one of the bathtubs has a sign that reads 12-year-old Scotch.
Yep. Well, if he can get the taste of it,
Hey,
it's pretty good talent.
yeah. They don't have anything regulating that sort of thing.
Except for, just not being allowed to do it in general.
Well, yeah, the most extreme form of it. Oh, man.
Well, we also, I think we missed earlier, we have the I'll find you, Beer Baron.
Oh, yeah, no, you won't.
Yes, I will.
No. Oh, and then we have Rex Banner running into Ned Flanders.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, he sounds drunk. Take him in.
Which, if you
man.
think about it, Ned really does sound like he's always drunk.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Even though all he'll have is a red wine spritzer, spritzer, spritzer. And then we got that whole explosion scene, which is, I didn't even have to write anything specific. I just wrote the whole explosion scene.
I just wrote explosions.
Yeah. Kablamo!
And the whole trying to justify it, and then he's holding on at the very end when Marge obviously knows what's going on. Explosion goes off and he just goes, boom.
Boom.
It must have been that bean I ate.
Yes, yes. So Homer finally decides to quit when he runs around the yard caught on fire.
Which he doesn't realize to stop, drop, and roll for
No.
like a good 10 seconds.
Oh, yeah. And of course, none of the rest of the house is damaged. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's all in that basement that's sometimes there, sometimes not.
Yes. So then he ends up running into Wiggum, and Homer does a really noble thing here. Because he doesn't really get much out of it other than the fact he gets to kind of show off a bit. But he decides to give himself up so that Wiggum can get his job back.
I think it's not as much. It's selfless, while also not thinking ahead.
Exactly.
Something was going to happen.
And I kind of feel like Homer wanted to show off a little bit. He kind of wanted to show Rex Banner.
Well, remember, you forgot one thing, Wiggum. I filled the balls with a funnel.
Yes. That was the real clincher. That was the thing that really made this a master plan. Oh, man. I love Homer's face when he says that, too. He's kind of got this sly face.
I think, did he have his arms crossed?
Yeah, and he had
smug.
that hat on.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, they bring back the catapult. And I love that that seed is sort of planted in the beginning where they mention the catapult.
Yeah.
And then they don't mention it for the rest of the episode, and they bring it back at the end.
Well, was it in like a museum somewhere? Or?
I know. Where did they find that? Because it was pretty big.
Well, because they said it was like the original catapult. Because they tested it on the cat because it was so
God.
old.
I mean, it landed on its feet. I don't know how.
I think
what
even
kind of
in cartoon,
shape.
I think even in a cartoon world, that cat did not make it.
Oh,
Well, it had to land somewhere too in town.
Cartoon physics. Well, and then we got Marge giving a speech, which she loves giving those speeches. And, of course, Rex ends up walking right on the catapult. Which, why? You can't just wander onto that.
Yeah.
But he gets there and he stops right at the right spot. And
They launch him, right? It's an intentional murder.
Yeah, they murder. It's just like the last one we just recorded was Simpson Tide, and there was a murder in that. And there's a murder here, too.
And then Quimby's reaction is just, Well, that was unexpected.
Oh, nobody cares about Rex Banner. And then we got the old history guy again saying, oh, wait, there's more on the paper. Why didn't he catch that sooner?
Yeah.
And I wonder if he wanted to cause some trouble.
The law was repealed 199 years ago.
Oh, my God. And so they ask Homer if he can bring the liquor back to town. He says he's quit. And Fat Tony says he'll do it in 4 minutes. And then the next scene says 5 minutes later.
Because it just takes everyone a minute to get drunk.
Yeah, it just takes a little extra time. Oh, man. And then we've got the iconic line that ends the episode. It's the cause of and solution to all of life's problems.
To alcohol.
The cause of and solution to all of life's problems. So, I don't know if this would be in my top 10, but I think it'd be in my top 20.
Yeah, it's not like a foundational episode, but there's some good lines, and you know, when you look back on The Simpsons, it's easy to forget a lot of episodes, but this is one that, especially with the catapult and all the gears at Moe's and the bowling balls and explode, there's a lot to remember from this one.
And when Prohibition starts, it's like the whole town changes. It's like just a different town than any other episode of The Simpsons.
Yeah.
And Homer's escapades, Rex Banner as a character is just so fun.
When he's talking about, they say if the beer baron will come back, and he says, well, I laugh at that. And he just does all these weird, like throat noises.
He just doesn't know how to laugh.
Well, you all know what laughter sounds like.
Oh, man.
He's so disconnected from society.
Yeah, he just doesn't understand. I wrote down, it's just pure fun Simpsons.
Yeah.
It's just a fun episode.
You don't need to think about it. There's no big moral of the story. It's just a fun ride.
Yeah. And it's a good one. It's a good one to watch on St. Patrick's Day, especially.
And it does the whole classic bring things back to normal at the very last second. Oh, yeah.
Gotta bring it all back. Yep. All right. Well, thank you for listening to our episode on Homer versus the 18th Amendment. Next time, we've got our April Fool's Day special, folks.
Ooh.
So, I hear it should be out of this world.
I think it will be.
I think it will be. So, stay tuned next time. Until then, bye everybody.